Morning students, welcome back to another day of class. Good. Here on display I have some items. I would like you to observe these items and can you see what is today's lesson about? Good. You have viewed all the items I have on display. Can you tell me what today's lesson about?
Great. So now that we have established our topic, business, forms of businesses, and we state our subtopic, sole trader, we stated our objectives. Now, as you all know, my name is Sir Shalim Sultan, and in my class, we like to have fun. We have fun in learning. Now, let's take a look at this video, and then we'll discuss. The video is on Sole Trader. So take a look carefully and then we'll discuss it.
Chien is a natural when it comes to dogs. They love her, and the feeling is mutual. So she decides to start up a dog walking service in her neighborhood. Within a few weeks, she's got a lot of happy customers. Chien Unleashed is considered a sole proprietor.
Great, so now that you have looked at the video, what I want you to do for me is to formulate a definition for sole trader. Now, take a minute, think about it, and then we'll discuss with the class. Very good. Now, all those are great definitions, and they state one or two facts of sole trader. Now let's take a look at this definition. So, what or who is a sole trader? A sole trader is a person who has total ownership of and responsibility for managing his or her business, right? So a sole trader is a person who has total ownership of and responsibility of managing his or her business, right? Now, the owner of the business is the boss. And as the owner, there is no obligation to share profit with others, and all the debts incurred by the business are the responsibility of the owner alone. So when you own a sole trader, you don't have to share your profit with anybody. Whatever you make is for yourself. However, the debt is also yours, because if you incur a debt and you don't have money to pay it back, it's up to you, right? And the responsibility of that debt also extends to your personal assets. So what do we mean by that? It means that if you don't have means of paying back the debt, meaning the money, it can you can lose your house or your car in settlement of that debt, right? So it's a risk also to be a sole trader. Now, some characteristics of sole trader are: he or she manages the business, but may not have the services, but may have the services of family and friends. So the owner manages the business, and they may have family and friends here and there to help them out also. He or she enjoys all the profit and bears all the risk. So like I said before, all the money that you make is for yourself, and all the debt also, right? So the other one is capital is limited. since the savings of the owner is used to fund the business, right? So because um, you are the owner and you're the sole proprietor, the capital is limited because all of your savings is put into the business, right? So you have limited capital, limited money to start up. Now, the other one is he or she enjoys all the profit and bears all the risk. Another one is he or she has personal contact with client, right? So they have personal, they meet the people them that they are selling the goods to or services to. They have contact with them, right? They also perform a large variety of the tasks into the operation of the business because it's only one person operating it. So they have to do most of the work, right? And the last one is this type of business is not incorporated. What do we mean by that? It means that it is not given a separate identity and therefore it is easy to set up. Meaning that if the business, if you set up a business, then you and your business doesn't have no separate identity. It's one, right? We are not saying that you are the business, but we are saying that it has your name, right? If anything goes wrong, or so you are the person in charge, right? So there's no separation, right? So now we have go through the characteristics and their definition. Can you think of some examples of sole trader now? What do you think are some examples? Who'll go first? Yes, right. Very good. Now all those are examples of sole trader. You guys are doing well. Very good. Now let's look at this. Now most of the sole traders are service industry. They're found in the service industry. What do we mean by that? They are persons that would set up small businesses to provide services, right? And we know that services are intangible. We can't touch them, right? So sole traders are most of the service industry. Now, for example, you have decorators. They come to decorate when you have birthday parties, wedding, anniversary, and so forth. You have electrician. You have plumbers, hairdressers, small business contractors, and even farmers. And for professional services, we have doctors, lawyers, engineers, surveyors, architects, and so forth, right? So all those are examples. And other examples are where we have shop, right? Small shops, grocery shops, and so forth. So all those are sole traders as well, right? Now, let's take a look at this video again, and then we'll discuss or take the lesson further, right? So let's take a look at this video. Are you guys having fun so far in learning? Right, very good. So now let's take a look at this video.
which has certain advantages. Tian makes her own hours and is her own boss. The downside is she's also doing all the work, from buying supplies to scheduling to collecting payment. She's a one-woman show. And if anything were to go wrong, her liability is unlimited. If she were sued for damages and lost, she could lose most of her personal assets. Soon, Tian's got more doggy.
Great. So now that you have looked at the video was on advantages and disadvantages, right, of sole traders. So now what I want you to do for me are to tell me some advantages of sole traders. What do you think after viewing that video? What do you think are some advantages? Right? Yes. Yes. Very good. Now let's take a look at these here. These are the most typical ones, right? So these are some advantages of being a sole trader. So we have ease of formation, and that is there is no legal requirement to setting up the business, right? We have independence. Many persons may find personal satisfaction in working for themselves. We have simple organizational structure. The organizational structure is simple. Usually the owner may have one or two employees, and those may be even his relatives or friends, right? So they have a simple organizational structure. The other one is personal control. So the proprietor has personal control with no obligation to consult. So thus decision making is quick, right? So because he is the sole owner, there is no need to consult with anybody else. So decision making is faster, right? Another one is personal services. The proprietor may know his staff and customers individually and can set his hours of work to suit them or suit his clients, right? So another one we have is secrecy. Secrecy. This means there is no need to disclose the business affairs except to tax authorities, meaning GRAs, or if you're taking loans or so, your creditors, people who would give you money, right? And minimum accounting is necessary to satisfy the income tax office, right? Another one is personal commitment to succeed. When working for yourself, there's a greater commitment to succeed because you always want to be on the drive to succeed, to make money, to earn profit, right? Great. So now, what are some disadvantages? You looked at the video stated some disadvantages as well. What do you think are some disadvantages? Right? Right, I like that one. Yes. Now let's take a look at these. So disadvantages of being a sole trader. Now there is limited source of finance. So inside of a sole trader, the capital depends on the personal savings or profits and on loans and security of personal property. As a result, the capital available is not often enough to expand the business, right? So because you don't have enough money, you can't expand the business or do much, right? So there's a limited source of capital or finance. We have lack of specialized staff. The owner may not be in the position to employ specialized people, and therefore the business may not expand quickly again, right? So let's say you need a computer technician, right? You have a business and um, you have a computer for the cashier service or whatever or billing, right? You may not have specialized staff to fix the computer to deal with a particular software, right? Another one is over reliance upon one's health and vigor, right? So sometimes illness or old age may cause difficulties, and there is therefore a lack of security for family, employees, and clients. So because you want to do everything, you rely on your personal health and strength, right? So another one is limited liability, unlimited liability, right? So if the business fail, the personal possession of the owner may be sold in order to pay off the debt of the business if necessary. So if you own a business and you can't pay it back and it's a sole trader business, then you can say your property may be sold to pay back that debt, right? For example, your house, your car, and so forth. So that's a disadvantage. We have a unlimited liability, right? Another one is lack of leisure time. Because you're working, and you work long hours, you may not be able to take vacation sometimes, which is essential because we can't keep working. As the phrase say, all work without no play makes Jack a dull boy. In this case, it would make you a great person here, right? Another one is lack of technology. So because a sole trader business is usually small, this sole proprietor can seldom afford the heavy capital outlay required. So they may not be able to afford the right technology, and therefore this may not be able to benefit from economies of scales, right? They may not be able to benefit from economies of scales. Great. So we have defined sole trader. We have listed some characteristics. We have listed the advantages and disadvantages. Now I have a small game for us to play. Now I'm going to display the game. It's based on advantages and disadvantages of sole trader. Now what I want you to do for me is to click on your annotate button, and I'll read the phrase, and then you would say if it's advantage or disadvantages, right? So we'll put a star or X, right? If it's an advantage. So the first one, it says extremely easy and cheap to set up, right? Extremely and easy to set up. Now, is that an advantage or disadvantage? That's an advantage. So we place a star there. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, that's enough. We understand. Very good. Now, the other one. The owner is in total control. Yes. Very good. That's an advantage as well. Are you guys having fun? Right. Now, the other one, unlimited liability. What do you think that one is? That one is advantage or disadvantage? That one is disadvantage, right? So we put an X there. Great. The other one, the owner keeps all the profit. What do you think is that one? An advantage or disadvantage? No. Right. It's an advantage. Very good. The other one, risk of the business shutting down if the owner is ill, right? That is a disadvantage, right? Very good. The other one is long working hours. What do you think is that one? Is that an advantage? No, that's not an advantage. That's a disadvantage. Very good. You guys are very good, man. Bright students. The other one is shortage of skill. So the shortage of skills, is that an advantage or disadvantage? That's a disadvantage as well, right? Very good. Very good. So that brings us to the ending of our lesson. So I have a quiz now for you guys to complete, right? So I'll send the link inside of the chat and you'll click and log into the quiz to complete it. And you have 10 minutes to complete the quiz, right? Great. So I'll now paste the link inside of the chat. Great. So this is your quiz. I've
Students, we have identified all the equipment. We've learned about their uses. We have learned about the different characteristics. We have learned about the similarities and differences between the equipment. So now, let us recap it one last time. We have the measuring tape, set square, curve square, and lastly, the transparent ruler. Good. What is the measuring tape used for? Can you say what the measuring tape is used for? Yes, the measuring tape is used for taking body measurement. Great job. Then we have the transparent ruler. What do we use the transparent ruler for? This is used for measuring hem lines. And also we can use this to mark measurements on fabric. Good. Let us recap one last time. We have the measuring tape, we have the set square, we have the curve square, and then we have the transparent ruler.